temperature, cause to me she's 0 degrees, she cold. Over freeze, I got that girl from overseas. Now she's my Miss America, now can I be her soldier, please? I'm fighting for this girl on the battlefield of love. Don't it look like baby Cupid sending arrows from above? Don't you ever leave beside of me, indefinitely, not probably, and honestly, I'm down like the economy. Baby, don't worry, you are my only, you won't be lonely, even if the sky is falling down. You'll be my only, no need to worry, baby, are you down, 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 baby, are you down, 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 and the sky is falling, even if the sky is falling down, and the sky is falling down.
Well, imagine as I'm pacing the pews in a church corridor, and I can't help but to hear, no, I can't help but to hear an exchanging of words. What a beautiful wedding, what a beautiful wedding, says a bridesmaid to a waiter. But what a shame, the poor groom's bride is a whore. I chime in with a haven't you people ever heard of closing a goddamn door? No, it's much better to face these kinds of things with a sense of poison rationality. I chime in, haven't you people ever heard of closing a goddamn door? No, it's much better to face these kinds of things with a sense of, well, in fact, well, I'll look at it this way. I mean, technically our marriage is saved. Well, this calls for a toast, so pour the champagne. Oh, well, in fact, well, I'll look at it this way. I mean, technically our marriage is saved. Well, this calls for a toast, so pour the champagne, pour the champagne. I chime in with the haven't you people ever heard of closing a goddamn door? No, it's much better to face these kinds of things with a sense of poison rationality. I chime in, haven't you people ever heard of closing a goddamn door? No, it's much better to face these kinds of things with a sense of poison rationality. I chime in, haven't you people ever heard of closing a goddamn door? No, it's much better to face these kinds of things with a sense of poison rationality. I chime in, haven't you people ever heard of closing a goddamn door? No, it's much better to face these kinds of things with a sense of poison rationality.
Just Blaze. Oh, baby. Killer. All the girls see the. Look at his kicks. Look at his car. All I say is, look, mommy, I'm no good. I'm so hood. Clap at your soldier sober. Then leave after it's over. Killer. I'm not your companion or your man standing. Hit me when you wanna get rammed in. I be scrambling with lots of mobsters. Shot for lobsters. Cops and robbers. Listen, every block is block. But she like the way I diddy bop. You peep that? Mink on Maury kicks plus Chanel ski hat. She want the, so I give her the. Now she screaming out, killer. Yeah, she playing with herself, Kim, dig it out, lift her up. Mine's just a fuck, yo, get it out, pick on up. They want the boy Montana with guns with bandanas. Listen to my homeboy Santana.
Can't fuck with the, I'm telling ya, put a shell in ya. Now he bleeding, get him, call us, he wheezing, he need us, he screaming. Damn, shut up, he's snitching, this nigga's bitching, he's twisted. If Feds was listening, damn, come on. I'm in trouble, need bail money, shit. Where the fuck is my, I got trust for my, that's why I fuck with my, that's my nigga. He gon' come get us, he got love for us, that's my,
When he got caught with the, we went to court for the, just me and we saying, be on the block with the rock of the, when the cops come, squalor. Yeah, this is for the sports cars, Bonitas, Jimmy's, PJs, old school, 18th at the sports bar, 8 or 9 on the, holla at your boy, killer, holla, listen, it's the DIP, plus the ROC, you'll be DOA, your moms will say, shit, ain't no stopping them, guns, we got a lot of them, matter of fact, guru, start popping them, then slap up his, clap up his, wrap up his, get them gats, diplomats are them, for the girls in the, say,
yeah. Now when they see Cam in this, they say damn, Santana's that squeeze hammers, cannons and bandanas, blammers, we don't brandish, blam at your man's canvas, then scream with your man's landed, and I'm back with my,
until that man advantage, somewhere in the Grand Canyon, these kids are grandstanding, niggas demand ransom over them grams scrambling. Well, fuck it, Van Damme 'em, Cam or blam blam 'em. Call up is, I'm down south.
Whoa, what is going on, everybody? Welcome. Y'all could have been anywhere in the world this evening. You're here tonight. We're going to talk about Marvel. I know everybody's going to have an opinion. Everybody's going to have a strong opinion, but that's what makes this fun. So, I was originally going to just do like the first entries. That's what I'm going to start with. So, like, I wasn't doing any sequels. I was only going to do, like, Iron Man 1. I was going to do Blade 1. But I was going to go all the way back to the beginning. But we'll see. If we keep rolling through, maybe I'll do them all. But that's a lot of movies. But anyway, we'll start with the first entries. And I'm going to go ahead and jump right into it. What's going on, everybody? How we doing tonight? Right. First one on the list, going to be a personal favorite of mine, X-Men. Fox's X-Men. I'm going to put this, I guess I should go over the tiers real quick. Obviously, the best tier is on repeat. This is a movie that we could throw on repeat, watch it any day of the week. There's several movies that we're going to talk about that are going to be in this category. Next one's all-time classic. It's good. Probably watch it every year, every other year, but it definitely wears out after a little while. Better Than Most, an ode to one of Tiger Woods' best putts. So, Better Than Most. A good, not great, but better than most. Sometimes great to sometimes shit. That's like my golf game. So sometimes really good, sometimes really shitty. Mostly disappointments. A lot of the movies in this are going to be disappointments. Not so much bad, but just really disappointing. And then obviously, fuck this movie. This movie, I probably haven't watched it this decade, at least not on purpose. So anyway, first one, X-Men, Fox's X-Men. I'm going to put this, as much as it pains me, certainly not fuck this movie. How about sometimes great, sometimes shit? It's a slog at times, man. It has a lot of people to introduce, and not a lot happens for a while. But I think, obviously, it gets infinitely better in the second one, so we may talk about that later. X2 is one of my favorites, but I think the first one is okay. Sometimes it's phenomenal. A lot of the times for me, it's kind of boring. There are some moments that I remember. I obviously remember the first time the X-Men show themselves in the snowy road. But other than that, there's just a lot of weird moments. I didn't like the whole Senator turning into the goop thing. So anyway, there's some weird choices. Not exactly my cup of tea. The next one we're gonna do Ant-Man. The first Ant-Man. Again, this is a tough one. I want to put it at better than most, but it's probably going to be somewhere down here too. We'll put it here for now, but I might move these around. It's not bad. I think the comedy works for me. I like Michael Pena's character. There's a lot of really funny, hilarious moments in this movie. I don't hate Darren Cross. I definitely don't know that I would have made him MODOK when we got to Quantumania, but that's a completely different conversation. But he was an okay villain, kind of boring, but he was fine. So I guess better than most, not terrible. The Incredible Hulk. So this is the Edward Norton Incredible Hulk, and I actually really do like this movie. So I am definitely not going to put it in all-time classics. It does have some really weird moments too. Let's put it here for now. Better than most. I think this movie definitely gets a bad rap. I like Tim Roth as Emil Blonsky. So I think this movie gets an unfair rap. I would have liked to have seen Edward Norton stick around and be Bruce Banner into the MCU moving forward. So, but anyway, maybe we'll get him back in a weird multiversal thing now that we're doing all that crazy stuff. So who knows what's going to happen. Anyway. I'll keep moving on. Okay. The Fantastic Four. This is the original one that came out, I believe, in like 2005, back when I was graduating high school. This movie's pretty bad. Yeah, pretty bad. Moving on. Thor. The first Thor. I don't hate the first Thor. Bleached eyebrows aside, it's not a bad movie. It introduces Thor, it introduces Loki, it introduces, Odin, and having somebody like Anthony Hopkins show up and do that role definitely helped. So, let's put it here. I don't think it's better than X-Men. X-Men might end up being the king of the sometimes great, sometimes shit. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But Thor's not terrible, but it's certainly not great. Black Panther. I don't know that I could watch it on repeat, but it's absolutely an all-time classic. So it may end up being the number one there for sure. Man, that one hurt. Losing Chadwick Boseman, that hurt. I'm definitely really bummed about that and really upset about obviously just losing the man himself, but as a selfish movie fan, all of the amazing, things that he was still going to do for us. So what a terrible, terrible thing. Blade. Whew, this again, aside from maybe like Keaton's Batman, Wesley Snipes' Blade was my childhood, man. Like, I loved that opening sequence. I could watch that on repeat. I'm not going to put Blade on repeat. I'll put it up here in all-time classics. Again, I don't know where it's going to fall. I guess objectively, Black Panther is probably a better movie, but Blade deserves its spot up there. All-time classics. That opening sequence alone, I could watch that over and over. The original Iron Man, I'm super fanboyish for Iron Man. If you know me, you know he's my favorite hero, but I can't say that I'd watch the first one on repeat either. It's better than most. I'll put it there. Better than most. It's not an all-time classic, but it's better than most. Okay, yeah. What do we got next? Punisher. Ooh, oh man, I wish I could rank Laundry Service. That was an amazing short. But the Thomas Jane Punisher movie, sometimes great, sometimes shit. Kind of a weird movie. Again, if we could have got more action, more stuff. The ending, I really like the ending. Travolta was a weird choice as the bad guy, but I guess he does an okay job. There were a couple things I would have changed. And sometimes great, sometimes really, really good, sometimes shit. I think that's a pretty good spot for it. Captain America: The First Avenger. Now, this is a movie that, for an origin story, I love. I love Captain America's origin story. You know, the story of the good man who gets the superpowers. Gosh, I'll put him right there next to his buddy. You know what? Just for Terry Signs, I'll even put him right there because it's definitely better than most. Is it an all-time classic? I guess we'll see in a couple more years. I do. I absolutely do remember the Stallionaires, baby. Of course I do. Come on, man. All-time class, better than most. The Amazing Spider-Man. Okay. Andrew Garfield. I like Andrew Garfield. Let's see if I can move this up here. There we go. I like Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man. I think he nails the comedy. He nails the quips. The action's fun. What didn't work for me was the villain. Not the actor that played the villain, but just the lizard himself. He wasn't really done particularly well, in my opinion. So, and if you don't nail the villain in a superhero movie, you kind of don't get the payoff, at least at the very end. So, for me, it's not a fuck this movie. Definitely going to be sometimes great, sometimes shit. Probably in the Thor territory. I'll put it right here for now. Black Widow. Man, there was some moments I really liked Black Widow. But what they did to Taskmaster, that was embarrassing. I mean, I don't even want to see that character again. I know they're bringing her back for Thunderbolts, so maybe they'll fix it. I don't know that they can, but I'm at least going to give them a shot. But you can't release that movie, like 4 or 5 years too late, man. Like, you got to give her the movie before you kill the character off. It's just, at that point, you did her a huge disservice. So I understand all the beef that fell out after that, and I definitely, if I was her, I wouldn't want to work with them anymore either. Oh, what do we got here? Oh, Guardians. Okay, Guardians 1. We're going to get the first one up here on repeat. I mean, talk about, and I think, Terry, you and I have had this conversation many times. Was it just propped up because of low expectations? Possibly, but the first time I watched this movie is one of the best movie watching experiences of my life. I remember laughing so hard that it made me sick. So, and it still really hasn't lost that fun vibe. Every time I throw it on, it's such a good movie. And I fell in love with those characters almost immediately. So, on repeat all day. I'd watch it right now while I'm doing this with you guys. So, Ang Lee's Hulk. What a polarizing movie, because, again, at moments, it's visually very, very nice to look at. He does some really cool stuff, but at the end of the CGI was so uncanny valley. It just throws you through a loop. We're gonna put it right here. Okay. Just because Hulk, at least there's more entertainment than Thor, in my opinion, in this movie. So I'll put it there. Sometimes great, sometimes really shitty. Okay. Morbius. Here's a movie that, again, I got absolutely hit. What did it bomb twice at the theaters? They released it. It failed. They released it again. It failed. I don't think it's that bad. I don't think it was worthy of that kind of failure, but it's just uninspired. I think that's its worst crime, is that it's just an uninspired movie. I don't need to see his origin. It wasn't really that interesting to begin with. He's a vampire, so just start the movie with him being a vampire, and we'll go from there. Again, I'm giving Andrew Garfield the nod just because he's a lot more charming in this movie, but Morbius wasn't terrible. I'm not going to say fuck that movie. A lot of people said it was one of the worst pieces of dog shit they'd ever seen. I think that's unfair. What do we got next? I can't even see what this one is. These things are so small. Let's move on. I see Deadpool looking at me. Yeah. That's on repeat. I love the original Deadpool. I know it's one of the top rated R movies of all time. And I I don't know if you guys know, but they moved the release of Deadpool 3 up 6 months. So we're getting it, I believe, in May of next year instead of November. So that's a win. I'm super pumped. The first one was amazing. The second one was amazing. And I can't imagine this third one's going to be any different. But the first one, I'll watch it every day. Ryan Reynolds was born to play that role, obviously. So much so that he played it twice. Once great and once we won't talk about that. Anyway, Eternals. I still can't figure out what this one is. Somebody comment what this one is. I can't tell what it is. But Eternals. I fell asleep. You put me asleep. You can't put me asleep. It just I didn't like it. Too many characters, too many people to introduce. Hard to Brian, you're right. It's tough to beat. It's tough to beat Deadpool. Absolutely. Yeah, I'm sorry, back to Eternals. What can you say? I just you can't put me to sleep. Sorry. But let's counteract the badness of Eternals with Into the Spider-Verse. This was one of my favorite movies when I watched it. The sequel was amazing. And I would say that this was one of the best superhero movies that I've seen in my entire life. So if you haven't seen Into the Spider-Verse or Across the Spider-Verse, you need to watch both of them. Eternals was awful. Horrendous. I'm sorry. It just was not good. Doctor Strange, the original Doctor Strange, Dormammu, I've come to bargain. Let's say better than most. I like the introduction of magic. It was an interesting, it had to happen eventually. We all knew magic was going to play a key part moving forward. So he obviously broke down that barrier. To think that there was a time where we didn't have wizards and witches and stuff is crazy now, but we had to start somewhere. It's better than most. It's a creative way to end, the struggle. I mean, when you're going against a being that powerful, obviously standing toe to toe isn't going to work. So what does he do? He uses his brain and figures out a way to defeat him. So better than most. I like Doctor Strange. And you know what else? My like 2-year-old son watched it with me. He was just mesmerized by the visuals. So I remember that. He enjoyed it. So, here what do we got? First Class, X-Men First Class. I'm not going to say all-time classic, but I will give it some love, better than most. I love James McAvoy. Let's put it right here, right behind Iron Man. Better than most. I think Michael Fassbender, James McAvoy as the two leads were phenomenal. Jennifer Lawrence is she's solid. This is certainly not her best performance by far, but she does a decent enough job. But really, it's the two main leads that are carrying it, and so much so that, how many did they end up starring in? 3 or 4 by the end of it. So it started a franchise, and actually, how can I not talk about Kevin Bacon? Obviously, you got Kevin Bacon as a villain. Kevin Bacon never plays the villain, other than the criminally underrated Hollow Man. So it's really nice to see him stepping back into those shoes and kind of being that creep. I've heard him as a fantasy cast for Freddy Krueger. So comment, let me know what you think about that, because I would want them, if they were ever going to recast Freddy Krueger, to try to go young and give us a couple movies. I want more movies. Give me more movies, but if you're going to do a one-off, he's got that kind of weird face. I think he could do it. Anyway, Venom, the first Venom. I liked it. I was thinking about putting it, but it's not an all-time classic. So let's say, did I like it more than First Class? I don't think I did. I liked Venom. I liked the CGI. His dynamic with Eddie, is amazing. Tom Hardy's amazing in this film. It's not a one-man show, but it's certainly off the sweat of his brow that this movie succeeds. So I'll give it right smack in the middle, better than most. What else we got? That Daredevil. Ugh. Do I have? Moving on, Daredevil. Not the TV show. This is Ben Affleck. Um, God, I'm so glad he got a chance to redeem himself with Batman, because if this is all we ever knew, whew, oof. I'm not even going to talk about Colin Farrell. He got a redemption too. He was terrible as Bullseye. Captain Marvel. Just, I don't know that I can go fuck this movie, but I'm going to put it at the very end of sometimes shit, because there are moments of the movie that I like. I do like Samuel L. Jackson. I do like Agent Coulson. But Brie Larson is, I don't know if it's intentional or not. She's so wooden, and I don't know if she's trying to be stoic or what, but it fell flat for me. It just didn't work. I wasn't a fan of her performance, and again, when you have a being that's that strong, it's almost like Superman at the end. There's no stakes. There's no, fear. Ben Affleck had a Batcave. Yeah, you're not wrong. Oh man, but it's just, again, she just didn't do it. She didn't do it. She's so, now she's polarizing. You either like her or you don't. Most people don't anymore. But anyway, moving on. Ghost Rider. So you got crazy ass Nick Cage. I mean, that's the tagline for a lot of movies. This is not the only one where we're just like, hey, we got Nick Cage and he's going crazy. The CGI wasn't terrible, I guess, for the time, but they really couldn't do villains in this series. Like, he's the bad guy. The devil's not as bad as Damien in the second one, but just sometimes great, sometimes shit. I'm gonna put it down here. I do like it better than the Hulk. I do like it better than Moby. I'll put it right there. How about that? Again, Andrew Garfield, he's charming enough. He's gonna hold on to this spot for a little while longer. All right. Anybody know what this is yet? This one right here. Love Ghost Rider. Ghost Rider. Again, I'm not gonna hate on it too much. I really wish they would have done. I don't know. I don't know what I would have changed. I don't know if I would have tried to make it more serious, more grounded. I'm not sure, but at times it's a little too much for me. That's all I can say. But the original Spider-Man, Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, all-time classic. All-time classic. One of my favorite superhero movies. Shang-Chi. I liked it. Might be a that might be a spicy pick, but I actually really liked Shang-Chi. Of the solo films that they've released recently, it's maybe at the top of my list. I don't know. But I liked the old school martial arts. I loved the bus fight was really great. It could be. It could be. Hey, what's up, Fry? How you doing, bud? But again, where Shang-Chi lost me was at the finale. I did not want another freaking CGI beast. I wanted. It might be. Actually, I think you're right. Oh, it's the shitty one. It's Fan Four Stick. It's the 2015 reboot. So we can just go ahead and put that down there. That one's pretty terrible. The Fantastic Four reboot. Pretty terrible. I didn't think that you could do worse than this one, but this one makes me want to put this one up here. Fuck you, Brie Larson. But yeah, that's terrible. Oh my god. Okay, we were talking about Shang-Chi. The ending of Shang-Chi. I wanted to see Wenwu versus Shang-Chi, and that's it. I wanted to see 1v1. You already had all the emotions, father and son. That's all I wanted. I didn't want to see the big giant monster bust through. I didn't need all that. So otherwise, I might have put that up at all-time classic. But for now, for me, it's better than most. Spider-Man Homecoming. I just watched this today. I should watch this today while I was preparing this list. It's good. It's good. Michael Keaton's really good. How about we put it right about here? Michael Keaton's really good. I don't think it's Tom Holland's best performance yet. I think he really grows into the character later in the series. But it's entertaining enough. It's entertaining enough for sure. What do we got here? Is this Avengers? I think that might be Avengers. If that's Avengers, then I mean you know where that's going. We're gonna go ahead and put that. Oh gosh. Oh gosh. Oh gosh. Because to me it matters. I mean, come on. Come on. First time we watched Avengers. Whew. Amazing. But can I watch it on repeat? Do I really watch it on repeat? I probably don't. I probably don't anymore. I'm going to give Deadpool the love. I'm going to give Spider-Man the love. And I'm going to give Guardians the love. Put it right there. Moving on. Elektra. This is easy. Fuck this movie. You go right next to Daredevil. You're pretty terrible. No Way, Man. What? You gotta tell me. You gotta tell me what I'm doing wrong. Tell me, Brian. Is this Spider-Man 2? Ooh. Spider-Man 2 is one of the best. I'll give it all-time classic. Spawn is I don't believe Spawn is either. I could be wrong, but I don't believe Spawn is either Marvel or DC. I didn't see New Mutants, so that's disqualified. Spider-Man 3. Sometimes great, sometimes shit. Key and Point. Emo Peter Parker. It's entertaining now, but it's not great. It's not great. You can't tell me that's what you wanted out of your Peter Parker movie. Again, too many villains. Shitty ass Venom. Sandman was okay, I suppose. It could have just been his movie, and then you throw the Goblin in there too. Just too much, too bloated, not focused enough. Spawn is a great movie. I actually just watched that a couple weeks ago too. Spider-Man 3 sucks. I concur. What do we got here? This is The Amazing Spider-Man 2. Oh, man. It's not a good one. Amazing Spider-Man 2 is not a good one, but I will give... How about here? Spawn is a great movie. I will second that. Simmons, he's a great character. He's empathetic. You feel really bad for him. What do we got here? This is Days of Future Past. X-Men Days of Future Past. I actually really like this movie, so I'm going to put it up an all-time classic. Yeah. Yeah, they definitely went from one of the best superhero movies ever in Spider-Man 2 to one of the worst. You're not wrong. Yeah. All-time classic. I miss the Fair Play Carnival. X2. You want to talk about, like you just said, the second Spider-Man movie is the best. I think X2 is one of the best X-Men movies. I'm going to put it up here just ahead of Days of Future Past. Days of Future Past is one of the best, for sure. Oh, but let's talk about one of the X-Men movies. Terry, this is gonna make you sad. I know you're not. You like this movie. The Last Stand. Did they butcher Phoenix, or did they do it justice? I'm not a fan of this movie, but I know there are some fans out there. I'm not gonna go fuck this movie because there are moments that work really well. So let's say it's better than Ghost Rider. I'll give it that. Is it though? Maybe it's not. It's better than movie. There we go. I'm good with that. I feel I'm good with that. Sorry, Terry. The Consultant. Nope. The Wolverine. Ooh, the Wolverine. Better than most. I'm gonna give this one some love. Better than most. No. Yeah, there we go. That feels right. These dudes are all pretty badass. Better than most. I like seeing Logan go to Japan. I think it's a really cool story. The finale kind of lose me there a little bit, but the journey there's a lot of fun. You got a lot of really good action sequences. I don't like the stories where they take the powers away. They do it too much. I don't like stories where they take the powers away. So I wish they didn't take his power away, but I understand that also makes this, the drama a little bit more there because you feel like he could really die. Oh, what do we got? What's this? It's another X-Men movie. Are we missing one? Oh, Dark Phoenix. I'm going to skip that. I don't want to talk about that. Deadpool 2. Let's do Deadpool 2. Deadpool 2. Again, I'm going to put it up here, an all-time classic. But where? How about that? I like the introduction of Domino. I like the introduction of Cable. We get to see a fairly, and I use this term loosely, a fairly realistic version of Juggernaut, if that's possible. So I do enjoy that whole sequence. I like, again, the Domino sequence where she's showing her powers. The whole X-Force fake out was one of the funniest things I've ever seen. So I need a drink. While I do this, I want to give a shout out. Where is it? Right there, right below my face. Nerds Doing Nerds Thing podcast. They were the last people to subscribe to me. They had a show before mine. We do shows on the same nights. AJ's a great guy, big nerd, and excuse me. Again, not afraid to share his opinion. That's what I like about. I like reviewers who don't always just say what's trendy. They give you their honest opinion. Logan, fuck this movie. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Logan was a masterpiece. So, again, I don't know that I watch it on repeat because it's a sad movie, but I'll put it up here. I'll give it the respect. I'll put it at the head of all-time classics. Again, the only reason I don't watch it on repeat is because you watch one of your childhood heroes, childhood icons die at the end of it, so it's kind of tough. AJ, huge nerd. Who isn't though, man? All the best people are. Blade 2 took everything that worked with Blade 1 and made it better. So, Blade 2, all-time classic. Blade 3 took everything that worked with Blade 2 and fucked it. Fuck this movie. Yeah, you can't not put Logan. Logan's a masterpiece. Again, the only reason it's not up here is because it's a bittersweet ending. It is nice to see him finally get his piece holding on to his heart. But anyway, Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer. Obviously, we've moved into the sequels at this point, so I liked this one more than the original. So I'll give it that, maybe that alone. Yeah. I liked it more than the original simply because I actually liked the ending where Johnny Storm gets all the powers and, has to fight Doom, but the movie was ridiculous. It was absolutely ridiculous. We have yet to see a fantastic rendition of the Fantastic Four, so hopefully we can get something like that soon. Venom, Let There Be Carnage. Sometimes great, sometimes shit. This movie was disappointing to me. Super disappointing. But it was better than Morbius. Let's put it was better than X-Men. I'll put it right behind Ghost Rider. I'm giving Ghost Rider some love thanks to AJ. But Venom, Let There Be Carnage, I didn't like the Woody Harrelson casting, and I love Woody Harrelson, but I thought the casting was weird. I didn't believe him as, Cassidy. I didn't think that the story just worked very well. So it was a huge miss. In my opinion, it was a huge miss. Oh man, these things are hard to see. I can't even tell what that one is. I know this one is Iron Man 3. Iron Man 3. Again, I'm a big Iron Man fanboy, but Iron Man 3 is not that great. I do like the sequence where he doesn't even have his armor. That's actually a really fun sequence. Sometimes great, sometimes shit. But I'm going to give it some love. Yeah, better than Spider-Man. Maybe, probably even better than X-Men. Yeah, I'm good with that. I like Thomas Jane better than. Okay, there we go. This is coming together nicely. Thor: The Dark World. Again, it's just boring. It's just boring. It's forgettable. Whew, guys, finally get to talk about a great movie. Captain America, The Winter Soldier. Absolutely on repeat. Arguably one of the greatest MCU movies. Iron Man 3 sucks. They should have stopped after the first. Yeah. It's the only reason the movie's watchable is because of Robert Downey Jr. You're not wrong. That's the only reason that any of those shittier ones are watchable is because of RDJ. But Captain America: The Winter Soldier is unique because it's more obviously espionage. It's more grounded. We are still talking, world-ending catastrophes, but it's not space aliens, so it still feels a little bit more realistic, a little bit more grounded. Yeah, Winter Soldier. It's in the conversation for best MCU movie. Absolutely. Again, it's firmly in this top spot. It's only because of how much I love this one. And I mean, Winter Soldier, you could easily do that and you wouldn't offend me. You know what I mean? You couldn't. You could do that and you wouldn't offend me. You know what I mean? These are all amazing movies. So, but for now, Deadpool has a special place in my heart. I love Deadpool. I didn't think we'd ever see it. So, Dark Phoenix. Let's get this out of the way. You can fuck that movie. That was pretty terrible. Guardians 2. Guardians 2, because of the cast, is better than most. Yeah, because of the cast. I mean, you have an absolutely amazing cast. So, and I've heard this before and I agree. When you don't reveal, anybody that's familiar with Ego knows that he's a bad guy. But to the casual viewer, if you don't reveal the bad guy till the very end, you don't give them very long to get invested in, the struggle and the climax and build up a lot of resentment to that person. So it's a little different, but it worked well enough. Better than most. X-Men, is that Apocalypse? Yeah, that's Apocalypse. So another one that I just thought was a pretty big miss. Apocalypse was shit, and he's one of my favorite characters. I remember him being terrifying, in the cartoon, in the animated series from the 90s. Apocalypse was terrifying. I remember playing, the video games, and there's one where Apocalypse is trying to get you, and it's terrifying. He's a scary character. In this one, he's Guardians 2, sometimes good, sometimes shit. I could see you putting it there. I'm going to give it maybe, nah. I do like it more than First Class. Yeah, he couldn't. Oscar Isaac could not save Apocalypse. Nobody could save Apocalypse. Oh, what do we got here? Is this has got to be, is that Avengers? Age of Ultron? Age of Ultron. I like Age of Ultron. I like Age of Ultron. Age of Ultron gets shit on a lot. It's one of my favorites simply because we get to see the Avengers at full power for most of it, at least. Yeah, you're not wrong. Terry. That's not a bad scene. I was done better in Stranger Things. I know it's a different song, but still, Metallica kicks ass. Anyway, let's keep moving. Okay, I'm having a hard time. Is this Civil War? Yeah, Civil War, all-time classic. Actually, I might even put that on repeat. Civil War is one of my favorites. So we'll put Civil War on repeat. Ant-Man and the Wasp. Sometimes great, sometimes shit. I didn't like Ghost. I didn't think Ghost was a very good villain. There we go. It wasn't bad, though. Sometimes great, sometimes shit. Thor Ragnarok. I don't know that there's a movie on the list that I've watched more. Maybe Deadpool. But I love Thor Ragnarok. Infinity War. There's my number one. Infinity War is my favorite Marvel MCU movie. So, I think Thanos is a fascinating character, a fascinating villain. His motivations are clear. His motivations make sense. And you empathize with him a little bit. As psychotic as he is, you kind of empathize with him. So, masterful storytelling, masterful execution on a scale that we had not seen prior to that, and we may never see again. Absolutely brilliant. Iron Man 3, is that what that is? I thought I already did Iron Man 3. Oh, it's Iron Man 2 then. We haven't done Iron Man 2. Iron Man 2 is pretty bad. I'll give it a little bit more love than Iron Man 3. How about that? Not much more, though. Endgame. Avengers Endgame. Again, not unlike Logan, I'm going to put it right at the head of all-time classic just because I can't say that but I do. Does it count if you only watch the last hour and a half? I mean, that's the length of a movie, right? I only watched the last hour and a half, but I do watch it a lot. Screw it. It deserves to be up here. It deserves it. It's freaking amazing. I mean, come on, they did it. They stuck the landing. They brought us along, made us care about all of these people, and then they took them away from us, and we knew they were coming back, or at least some of them. But it's still, I mean, the portal scene was amazing. Cap lifting Mjolnir was amazing. So many great moments. So many fuck yeah moments in that movie for sure. Spider-Man Far From Home. I'll tell you, I remember that Mysterio is the bad guy. I remember that he's full of shit. And I remember that at the end, Spider-Man has him shoot him with his own drum. So that's about it. That's really all I remember. I'm going to assume that at moments it's great. And at moments it's probably kind of shitty. Let's see. Actually, you know what? Tom Holland is charming, though. How about better than most at the very end? What else do we got? Ooh, Multiverse of Madness. Multiverse of Madness. It's interesting because when I went and saw Multiverse of Madness, there were 3 instances that I can remember where I jumped in my seat. Now, I might have had a couple beverages before we went to the movie, so that might have played a part in it, but the movie scared me. And I'm a big Sam Raimi fan. I like Sam Raimi's kind of weird directing style, so I'm gonna move it up to. It is kind of shitty sometimes, though, but I'm gonna say better than most. It's just probably my opinion. Better than most. It's just like my opinion, man. Thor: Love and Thunder. Fuck that movie. Wakanda Forever. I liked Wakanda Forever is not a bad movie. It was dealt a terrible, terrible hand. They probably shouldn't have made it. You know, they probably shouldn't have made it. I wish that I could put it in a category all on its own, but I can't. So I'm going to put it in the sometimes great, sometimes shit category just because I can't say it's better than most. I mean, they lost their star and they tried to press forward. What else we got? I don't want to do the shows. I haven't watched all the shows. Is anybody here completely caught up? Because I definitely fell behind. And if so, how screwed am I? I didn't watch all of She-Hulk. I didn't watch all of Moon Knight. I watched all of What If. I watched all of Loki. Loki was amazing. WandaVision was amazing. I haven't seen any Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So, I don't know. I feel you're caught up, Terry. I don't know. I definitely have to catch up. So, anywho, I guess that's my list. I don't really want to go into the I'm missing the best ones. Yeah. I definitely need to watch. I didn't watch Hawkeye either, other than like the first 3 episodes. I had to see the Kingpin come back. Spoiler alert, shit, I'm sorry. For people that haven't seen that. But anyway, I had to see that on YouTube. I had to watch that happen on YouTube. Guys, I really don't have anything else to talk about. I think I'm done. If anybody has anything they want to chat about, go ahead and throw it up in the chat. If not, I'll say my goodbyes and we can do this next week. Same bat channel. You told me that, Terry. You told me you were a fan of Kamala Khan. I do need to watch it. I do need to watch it. I could do reviews on all the TV shows, and then that would force me to watch it. But no, I am going to. I'm gonna break down my setup, and now that I've been doing this for 6 months, there are things that I've learned about my setup that I would change. So I'm gonna do an in-depth review of my setup, talk about what I would change, and then attach links to the comment section for people that are interested. You know, for folks that are trying to do something like what I'm doing. You know, that are trying to create content or find an outlet to get some of their thoughts out. So, but I've been doing this long enough that I know a few things that I would like to fix one day. But anyway, so that's something that's on the docket. Let me show off my awesome shirt that my wife got me and for today's video. Periodic Table of Marvel. Yeah, I'm pretty good with I'm pretty happy with this list because this is definitely probably like where I would be with like my favorite movies in the series. I would probably move this here again just because Endgame makes me kind of sad, but right there, I mean that's give me any of those movies, give me any of these movies really. Top 2 rows, I'm a happy dude. All right, y'all. I guess I'm going to call it. So we made it almost an hour. But I appreciate it. Thank you all for showing up.